Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to cover a few important health and safety points. Please take note of the nearest emergency exits. In the event of an emergency, remain calm and follow the instructions of the event staff and make your way to the nearest assembly point, the lower courtyard in front of the chapel. If you require medical attention, please speak to one of our events team who can arrange for medic to assist you. Please keep walkways and exits clear at all times and take care when moving around the courtyard and Dublin Castle. Thank you for your attention. We hope you enjoyed the event. Ladies and gentlemen, may I please introduce your host for this afternoon, Ms. Carrie Crowley.
Good afternoon, everybody. Fáilte Rove Illig an seo. The opening ceremony is about to begin, but I would like to invite the speaking party to take their seats, please. Tá an ahasarm fáilte chuir roimh illig an seo gCaisleán Bhaile Átha Cliath. I am delighted to welcome all of you to Dublin Castle today to mark the beginning of Ireland's presidency of the Council of the European Union. It is a very special day for all of us. I am joined on stage by the Dublin Youth Choir, and the Defence Forces Band are beside us, all ready to play. And I invite all of you, if possible, to be upstanding because we are going to raise some flags. Thank you.
Mel na Bratiga! Mel inniu! Mel na Bratiga! Contosig! Gamar! Marshall! Together! Radag! Five! Stand! Melda brought together! A mark! A pine! Melda brought together! Cortege!
Guramagi, Dublin Youth Choir and the Army Band playing our Vian, our national anthem. I would ask that you now stay standing, please, because we are going to raise the European flags, the flag of the EU, and play the anthem of the European Union. Ordered!
Cheers! Bhaile Átha Cliath, it's Jack and Pete. Bhaile Átha Cliath, Aontais Eorpaigh. Come on, Michelle.
Thank you so much to Dublin Youth Choir and the Defence Forces Band for a rousing rendition of Ode to Joy. The good news is you can now be seated. Sigi Leverdul. And Aontais Eorpaigh a chuiribh Ardíiseach, Micheál Martin, by Shearmanas Vigan Nomates. I'm now delighted to welcome the Taoiseach Micheál Martin to the stage.
Cuinúisle a galéir tá fáilte mhór roimh go gCaisleán Bhaile Átha Cliath inniu, agus muid ag comórda hús Uachtaránacht na hÉireann Chomhairle an Aontais Eorpaigh. Cé go bhfuil éire site imil an Atlantic, ba hir an Eorpach I gcónaí. Is ar maulríocht san Aontais Eorpaigh, an léirú is fearr atá aghaing ar bhéanúlacht Eorpach le breis agus 50 bliain anuas. In éanacht lenar go fartathe, thugar mar áid a bhfuil míad brodúil a rá, gur bí ar náid féin í. It is my privilege as Taoiseach to welcome you all to Dublin Castle this afternoon to mark this important moment. A very special welcome, or céad míle fáilte, to the President of the European Council, Antonia Costa, and the President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky. Today, Ireland assumes the responsibilities of the rotating presidency of the Council of the European Union for the 8th time. Just over half a century ago, in January 1972, the then Taoiseach Jack Lynch and Minister for Foreign Affairs Dr. Patrick Hillery signed the accession treaty on behalf of Ireland to join the European communities. Few events in Ireland's history have been so transformative. At that time, average Irish incomes were roughly 2/3 of the European average. The so-called marriage bar, requiring women to give up their employment, had not yet been abolished. And we faced the worst year of violence during the Troubles, which saw nearly 500 men, women and children killed. Ireland's emergence as a modern, open economy and society is deeply intertwined with our membership of the European Union. It helped us grow our economy, invest in our communities, and supported social changes. Our European partners made a unique contribution to peace and reconciliation on this island, for which we will always be grateful. But European Union membership is not a one-way street. Previous Irish presidencies have helped realise significant milestones in our shared European history. We remember in particular the historic Day of Welcomes in May 2004, when the European Union gained 10 new member states in its biggest ever enlargement. Despite its location on the edge of the Atlantic Ocean, Ireland has always been a deeply European country. From the monks who travelled Europe, keeping the light of learning alive through the dark ages, to the young Erasmus students of today, we've always been proud Europeans. Together with our European partners, we have built a union that we are honoured to call home. We have weathered storms and crises together, and we have celebrated in joy together, knowing that we are always stronger together. Ní náirt go cur le chéile. We are proud to be part of a European Union in which pluralism, non-discrimination, tolerance, justice, solidarity and equality are valued, nurtured and never taken for granted. We are proud that Ireland has become a beacon of hope to others for the transformative potential of the European ideal. We say to countries on their journey towards EU membership, we are determined to take you as far down that path as we can. As we take on the presidency role, we commit to making every effort to make our economy stronger, protect our shared values and keep our people secure. We will stand unswervingly by the people of Ukraine, inspired by their courage and determined to ensure that they get the peace and justice they deserve. Holding the presidency is an honour and a responsibility, and we are ready to give it our all. We pay warm tribute to Cyprus, our predecessor in office, for the great work that you have done. And we look forward to handing the torch forward to our Lithuanian friends at the start of 2027. Vive l'Europe, an Europe abu. Gur míle maith agam go léir.
Thank you very much, Taoiseach. As you mentioned in your remarks, this will be Ireland's 8th EU presidency, and it's notable that during our very first presidency, back in 1975, we hosted the very first meeting of the European Council right here at Dublin Castle, St. Aontais Eorpaigh, in the very same place. It is therefore fitting that the President of the European Council, Antonio Costa, is here with us today, and I would like to welcome him to the stage now.
Dear Taoiseach, dear Michal, Mr. President, dear Volodymyr, Member of the Government, Excellencies, it's a pleasure to join you here in Dublin to mark the beginning of the Ireland's presidency of the Council. Over the next 6 months, Ireland will be the steward of the Council agenda, working on behalf of 450 million of European citizens. Your presidency motto is crystal clear: strength with unity. Now, it is time to bring the wisdom and positive gained through Ireland's journey in the European Union to help guide Europe through this challenging global geopolitical juncture. Values, competitiveness and security are the 3 pillars of your presidency agenda. They are also key priorities for our Union. First, values. Our Union is a union of values. Peace, democracy, solidarity and security are in our DNA. Now more than ever, the European Union needs to defend those values within Europe and globally. I applaud your commitment to strengthening the European Union's role as a principal global actor and your firm support for the United Nations, multilateralism and respect of international law. These are principles at the core of international rules-based order, and Ireland has consistently been at the forefront of that effort. They must guide our work for peace and security in Gaza, in the West Bank, in Lebanon, in the Strait of Hormuz, and across the wider Middle East. And of course, And of course, they must also remain at the heart of efforts to achieve a just and lasting peace in Ukraine. President Zelensky's presence here today is a powerful reminder that our commitment remains unbreakable. But our vision goes beyond the war, because Ukraine's future is in the European Union. The recent formal opening of accession negotiations with Ukraine and also with Moldova shows our commitment to enlargement is our best investment in peace, security, stability and prosperity in Europe. We open the negotiation of the first cluster, and we will wish to open all the other clusters as soon as possible. We must build on this renewed momentum in the accession process and work together to achieve substantial progress in negotiations with all candidate countries during the Irish Presidency. Second, competitiveness. In response to the growing external pressures on our competitiveness and prosperity, European Union leaders designed 2026 as the year of competitiveness. The One Europe, One Market agenda and the roadmap agreed by the Council with the European Parliament and the European Commission set out an ambitious timeline to achieve decisive progress in 2026 and 2027. An agenda which involves completing the single market, pursuing the strategy of simplification, ensuring affordable energy, supporting innovation, and reducing strategic dependencies. And above all, completing what has been in the pipeline since 1992, a capital markets union, a unified energy market, and a unified telecommunications market that will boost Europe's economic growth, secure our digital transformation, and strengthen our economic and industrial resilience. Third, security. Security as a defense dimension, and strengthening Europe's security and defense remains high on the agenda as we work to implement the Defense Readiness Roadmap 2030. This is crucial for the European Union's credibility, influence and power in a volatile, complex world. But our security also has an economic dimension. That is why we are strengthening our economy while protecting our European social model. A social model built on inclusion, human dignity and solidarity to address one of our citizens' greatest concerns, access to affordable housing. That is why I placed the housing crisis on the agenda of the European Council last October. That's why the Commission presented a strategy for affordable housing, and that's why housing will be a key focus of the Irish Presidency. Thank you, Michal. We must tackle this multi-layered crisis together, and your leadership will be crucial to making progress. Last but not least, all our ambitions must be supported by appropriate financial foundations. So, the multi-annual financial framework will be a key priority and deliverable of the Irish Presidency. We have a shared responsibility to have our next long-term budget up and running at the beginning of 2028. To make that possible, we need an overall agreement by the end of this year. That is the only way for funds to continue flowing uninterrupted to our citizens, to our companies, to our farmers. We need to ensure that the European Union has the resources it needs to deliver on what our citizens expect from us: a more competitive, more innovative, more cohesive, and more autonomous, safer, and more secure Europe. And Ireland has a decisive role to play. Ireland's European experience puts you in the right position to be an honest broker in these negotiations. It will be challenging, but I'm confident we will reach a deal until the end of this year, and we will be counting on the Irish humour and charm to see us through. I would like to conclude with the words of your Taoiseach, Jack Lynch, in 1972, during the referendum on Ireland joining the European Union, and his hopes that it would lead to a better Ireland in the better Europe. And I quote, "The road we take will determine not only the future of our country for generations to come, but also the contribution we make to the creation of a Europe that will measure up to the light ideals of the founders of the European project." Ireland's European journey is a success story. I'm convinced that your presidency will not just show that Ireland is at the heart of Europe, it will demonstrate that Ireland is a decisive actor in building a better and stronger Europe. I'm looking forward to working closely with you, dear Micheál, with your government, to deliver on an ambitious shared agenda. Thank you, and my best wishes to all of you for a successful Irish presidency. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President Costa, for your kind remarks and for being with us today. Our next speaker is the President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, a leader whose bravery and determination have inspired people all across Europe. Before I welcome him to the stage, can all guests please stand for the raising of the Ukrainian flag and the Ukrainian national anthem. What a powerful moment to have the Ukrainian flag and the Ukrainian anthem in Dublin Castle here today. And I would now ask you all to be seated while we welcome to the stage the President of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this ceremony. Great honor. Thank you very much. And thanks for invitation. Thanks, Dublin. Dear Taoiseach, Michal, dear President Antonio, government, and of course people of such a great country. Thank you for your attention to us, attention to Ukraine, and for standing by our country and our people from the very beginning of such big aggression. Ukraine knows how to be grateful, and we always value relationships built on mutual respect. And I congratulate Ireland on the start of its presidency of the Council of the European Union. This is always a great responsibility, especially now when we must protect lives and our values from Russia's anti-European aggression, and when we face many other challenges, both in international affairs and at the national level across Europe. The EU has an opportunity and the responsibility to be a force that brings more stability, more predictability, and basic respect for human life, the kind of life everyone wants for themselves, their children, and their families. First, security. Over the next 6 months, we can make real progress on the drone deal that Ukraine has proposed to the European Union. We have also concluded a good number of bilateral agreements and broader partnerships with European countries that can help bring Ukraine's new defense technologies into wider use, including drone and counter-drone systems that are already proving effective. Today, every country needs the modern means to at least monitor and protect its own airspace and sea borders. Without Ukraine's experience and security expertise tested in modern war, it is simply impossible to guarantee security today, especially when it comes to air defense and maritime security. That is why I invite all of Europe to work together as closely as possible. Second, we must support every step that makes it harder for Russia to continue such war. Russia is not acting out of goodwill. It will not stop the war simply because someone asks it to. The world's strongest leaders, including the President of the US, have already told Russia that this war must end. However, Putin wants to keep fighting, and it's true. That is why he must face conditions that make it impossible for him to keep this war going. We are creating those conditions through our long-range strikes on Russian military and oil facilities. Our medium-range sanctions are also having an effect. They make it harder for Russia to occupy our territory, our lives. And we are doing everything we can to make the occupation unbearable for the occupier. I want to thank everyone who supports us, supports our efforts, and I urge you to continue this support through new European Union sanctions, and they are needed against Russia's shadow fleet and against many of the tools Putin still relies on to keep this war going. This also includes companies in European countries whose only purpose is to work for Russia. Unfortunately, there are companies in Europe that are owned or effectively controlled by Russia and its sanctions oligarchs. They keep supplying the aggressor with essential materials, even now. Third, I thank all European leaders for opening the first negotiation cluster in Ukraine's EU accession talks. And it was an important decision during the Cyprus presidency. And now we must keep moving forward. We count on it, moving forward without losing time. We can open 5 more clusters. Antonio, what do you think?
I agree.
Okay. We can open 5 more clusters very soon and continue the negotiations in a practical way. And of course, the biggest political decisions are still ahead, but steps like opening new clusters strengthen the motivation of our people, lift the spirit of Ukrainians, and show that the EU keeps its promises. It's so important to keep promises. And that is exactly how it should be. Honor for me to be here. Thank you very much. Slava Ukraini!
Thank you very much, President Zelensky. Anish Buaicphointí River Taoiseach Simon Harris. I would now like to welcome the Taoiseach Simon Harris to the stage.
Taoiseach, President Antonio Costa, President Volodymyr Zelensky, colleagues, friends, distinguished guests from across the European Union, ladies and gentlemen, agus a cardia. Once again, Céad Míle Fáilte Roimh go léir gCaisleán Bhaile Átha Cliath. 100,000 welcomes to Dublin Castle, this historic landmark which has played host to key events in Ireland's evolution and Ireland's transformation since our independence. It is a great honour to welcome you here today to Ireland as we assume the presidency of the Council of the European Union for the 8th time. President Costa, dear Antonio, thank you for those thoughtful and compelling words. Your remarks have set an appropriate tone for this presidency, reminding us that our work together is rooted in shared values and shared purpose. And President Zelensky, dear Volodymyr, thank you for those powerful remarks that will resonate across this island and beyond. Your courage, your resilience, and that of all Ukrainian people will be a guiding inspiration to us here for the next 6 months. And allow me echo the Taoiseach's sentiments and make clear that throughout all the work Ireland does as our presidency takes hold, we will seek to strengthen our solidarity with Ukraine and stand with Ukraine and its people for as long as it takes. Slava Ukraini. Friends, today marks more than the beginning of a presidency. It marks a moment for Ireland to serve, to lead, and to step up. And it marks a moment for the European Union to reflect on what we have achieved together and on what we must do next. For 6 months, Ireland will have the privilege and the responsibility of helping to guide and shape the work of our European Union. We do so at a time when our continent faces significant challenges: geopolitical uncertainty, technological transformation, climate change, security threats, and pressures on social cohesion. But we approach this with confidence, because the story of the European Union and the story of this Republic is fundamentally a story of success. It's a story that we know in Ireland very well. For our country, membership of the European Union has been transformative. It is the single best decision we have taken since our decision to become an independent nation. The European Union opened opportunities for our people, our businesses, and our communities. It helped create the conditions in which Ireland could become a modern, outward-looking and innovative economy and society. It supported our farmers, our workers, our students, our entrepreneurs. It connected us to our neighbours and to the wider world. And it helped ensure that our young people could imagine futures that previous generations could scarcely have dreamed possible. Yet the success of Europe can never be measured by economic growth or economic success alone, because the European Union is also fundamentally a social project. It's about creating opportunities for people. It's about protecting rights. It's about making sure that no community, no region, no citizen is left behind. And above all, and most importantly, Europe is a peace project. And nowhere is that more evident than on this island. For generations, conflict cast a long and dark shadow over the island of Ireland. Today, we can see clearly what partnership and dialogue can achieve. The European Union was always a steadfast supporter of peace and reconciliation on this island. Its contribution to our peace process, through practical support and through the values it embodies, has been profound. And as we begin this presidency, Ireland brings that experience with us. We know that dialogue matters. We know that compromise matters. And we know that lasting progress is achieved when people choose cooperation over division. That is why this presidency won't just be a presidency for governments or institutions or politicians alone. It will be a presidency for the people of Ireland, for the people of Europe, for the student preparing for opportunities that extend across Europe, for the worker whose job depends on trade and investment, for the young person who should have the legitimate expectation of affordable housing, for the researcher developing the technologies of tomorrow that will transform our world for the better, for the farmer supporting rural communities and feeding our people, and for the family seeking security, opportunity, a safe online world for their children, and a better future. So over the coming months, we want the people of our island to see themselves reflected in this presidency. We want communities from Cork to Letterkenny, from Galway to Wicklow, from Castlebar to Wexford to feel ownership of this moment, because Europe belongs to its citizens. And the success of Europe must always be measured by the lives of the people it serves. Our presidency will be ambitious, will be practical, and will be outward-looking. We'll work with our European partners to strengthen our economy, enhance our competitiveness, advance the green and digital transitions, support innovation, deepen security, and defend our democratic values. And we will work to ensure that Europe remains a global force for peace, peace in Ukraine and peace in the Middle East. And we will work with determination to bring people together. That has always been one of the strengths of this nation. So it's our privilege to serve Europe in this leadership role at this important moment. To all our European partners, we look forward to working together, to seeking common ground. To the people of Ireland, let's embrace our European identity. And to our friends across Europe who will visit Ireland for the next 6 months, Céad Míle Fáilte. Together, let us begin this presidency with confidence and belief and hope in the European Union, with pride in what it can achieve together, and with a determination to deliver the change and the progress that Europe needs. This is Europe's moment. This is Ireland's moment. This is our moment to lead together. Gur míle maith go léir.
Gur míle maith Aontais. Thank you, Taoiseach. It is now my honour to introduce the cultural part of the ceremony. And for those of you not familiar with the Irish language, I'd like to introduce you to an Irish word. And that word is samhlaíocht. Samhlaíocht, such a beautiful word. And it's the word for imagination. Samhlaíocht is the capacity to dream, to create music, poetry, dance, film. Arts and culture provide a common language. They unite us as a nation and they represent us on the international stage. They transcend borders, connect us as citizens, and strengthen our bonds as Europeans. Agus sin ceantas na rudaí is tábhachtaí inniu. That is one of the most important things about today, gathering with our fellow Europeans. Through collective creativity and imagination, we celebrate who we are, honour where we have come from, and inspire what we can become together. Chun tús a chur leis an gceol, ní éireannach a bhaidh sinnam ar dús, ach ban ón gipper. The first musical instrument that you will hear today is from Cyprus. We are honoured to have a Cypriot guest, Christina Polycarpou. She plays the lira, and it's a symbolic musical handover from Cyprus to Ireland. Christina will be joined by renowned Cork sean-nós singer Iarla Ó Linards, Glórna Angalig in Varsha, alongside our musical director Colm Mac Umara and fellow musicians Leisha Kelly, Seamus Ong, Francesco Torrisi and Cormac Begley. Ladies and gentlemen, a Ghine Uachtaránacht, please put your hands together and welcome our musicians.
Saura, bangin' the ngauna, Hugam féin an saura lin. Saura buin an honin glegal, the Hugam féin an saura lin. Hugam linge o hil creve, Hugam féin an saura lin. Saura bui o lin na grene, Hugam féin an saura lin. Bob og na belt and a maid in a tauri, Suas got knock, she's got clown. Kalini mashach a bon gala glegal, oh, Hugam féin an saura lin. Call is traum is queeren, Hugam féin an saura lin. An frin seo glegal pale an ácha, Sha Hugam féin an saura lin. A saura bangin' the ngauna, Hogamar féin an saoire linn. A saoire buin an nónín glégal. Da hogamar féin an saoire linn. Hogamar linge ó hil crefig. Hogamar féin an saoire linn. Saoire bui ó lín na gréine. Hogamar féin an saoire linn. Bobog na belten a maid in a tauri. Suas ga knuk, she's ga clown. Kailini mashach a bon gal a glegal. Hogamar féin an saoire linn. Kevin ik dingen. Kaura saura. Is Kevin ik dingen. Is Kevin ik dingen. Olien grene.
Gurmina mat, Irla agus na Kiltori Ella. Now we have something rather special coming up. Cormac Bagley will perform a tune for us, and then he'll be joined by Sean-nós dancer Stephanie Keane. Agus neadar will dausa an Sean-nós feici agi hana. Mona will. If you have never seen Sean-nós dancing before, you're in for a serious treat. Fanagi maratha and enjoy. I suspect you liked it. Nach raibh sé just iontach gur míle maith Cormac Begley and Stephanie Keane. So I am now delighted to welcome the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Trade and Minister for Defence, Helen McEntee, to the stage. Corrigi Bhaile Átha Cliath.
President Costa, President Zelensky, Taoiseach, Tánaiste, dear colleagues, distinguished guests, to our wonderful, wonderful artists, band, choir, accordia, Céad Míle Fáilte Roimh go léir, is lá mór é seo d'éireann agus don Aontais Eorpaigh. It's hard to not feel inspired after listening and to watching our wonderful artists here today, because today is a day to celebrate. It's to celebrate who we are as Irish people and to celebrate who we are as Europeans. It's a day of ambition for our country and indeed for our union. A union of our shared interests, inheritance, and importantly, our shared future. One that is built not simply through treaties or institutions, but by people. And so today is about the student who studies abroad and returns home with new ideas. The farmer whose livelihood is pivotal to our food and climate security. The entrepreneur who can sell to a market of 450 million people. The researcher working with colleges across borders to find the next breakthrough. The family that can travel, work and build a future anywhere across our union. Today is about communities, those communities that have flourished through programmes like the Common Agricultural Policy, the Erasmus programme, Peace Plus, Horizon and beyond. It is about protecting the rights that we value, the freedoms that we sometimes take for granted. It is about ensuring that everyone, women, men, young and old, people from every background, that we all have the opportunity to contribute, to belong and to thrive. Our union has grown over time as new countries have joined our shared European story, sometimes gradually, sometimes in moments of changed history. And later today, we will remember the 2004 Day of Welcomes and draw inspiration once again from the timeless words Seamus Heaney wrote for that particular occasion. As Heaney urged us, move lips, move minds, and make new meanings flare. Those words remind us that Europe's greatest achievements have always begun with dialogue. And so we see that same European spirit today in the courage and the determination of the Ukrainian people. It is expressed so powerfully, again, by President Zelensky, but it's also reflected in the lives of the tens of thousands of Ukrainians who have found safety and welcome in Ireland and across Europe. They are no longer strangers, they are neighbours, they are classmates, they are colleagues, they are friends, welcomed into communities from the heart of Dublin to villages along the western seaboard. And so today is also about our pursuit for peace in Europe, pursuit of peace in the Middle East and beyond. And yes, there will be difficult days over the next 6 months. Challenges that we cannot yet foresee, moments when our ambitions for competitiveness, security and our values will be tested. But every challenge also brings opportunity. An opportunity to strengthen Europe's economy, to create good jobs, to deepen our partnerships, to accelerate innovation and to build, importantly, a safer and more prosperous future for our citizens. We are ready to meet those challenges and to seize those opportunities together. Today, in the spirit of our union and inspired by everything it has achieved and everything it can still become, let us dare to dream. Let us choose ambition over complacency. Let us believe that the next generation can enjoy even greater opportunities than the last. Let us work together to build a Europe that is more secure, more prosperous and more united. A Europe that continues to make a real difference in people's lives. Today, friends, together with strength in unity, Nineart gCaisleán Céile. Let us turn ambition into action. Our European tradition demands nothing less. Go raibh míle maith agaibh.
Thank you, Minister McEntee. Agus feicimid na téimi sin mada le Aontais Eorpaigh agus Aislingi in our léire cultúrtha Derry. We will see those themes of European accession and dreams reflected in our final cultural piece later in the ceremony. But first, let me call Minister of State Sean Canny to the stage.
Distinguished guests, a cordial good ear. It is a fitting today, as we mark the opening of Ireland's 8th EU presidency here in Dublin Castle, we also showcase some of Ireland's contributions to European culture. We celebrate Ireland's unique cultural identity and also the cultural connections that unite us across Europe, reflecting the motto of the European Union, united in diversity. The works performed today are evocative of our past and also point us to the future. A European future that our presidency offers Ireland the opportunity to shape. During our presidency term, Ireland will lead the work of the Council, engaging with our fellow Ministers of State, with our Member States and with the EU institutions to take forward an ambitious and a very ambitious policy agenda. We will advance measures to enhance the competitiveness of Europe's economy. We will safeguard the fundamental values of our Union at home and abroad. And we will provide for the security of our citizens across Europe. In taking on the responsibility of the presidency, we are making a contribution to a European project which has served us well in this country well over the last 53 years, since our accession to what was then the European Economic Community in 1973, or the EEC as we knew it. As Ireland helps to guide the evolution of the EEC into the European Union, we know today, through 7 previous presidencies, so too has Europe guided and supported the transformation of Ireland's economy and society over the last half-century. Ireland's history and our culture makes us a proud European nation. We celebrate that today, and we look ahead to our role over the next 6 months, during which we will help to chart Europe's future and to deliver an Irish EU presidency in which we can all take pride in. Gormaigh Galia.
Thank you, Minister Canny. I am now delighted to welcome one of Ireland's most famous actors and Oscar nominee, Ruth Negga, to the stage, where she will read the poems Beacons at Bealtaine.
"22 years ago, Nobel laureate Seamus Heaney was commissioned by the Government of Ireland to write a poem marking the accession of 10 new countries to the European Union. The ceremony was aptly named the Day of Welcomes. Today, we gather in Dublin Castle for another Day of Welcomes, marking the opening of Ireland's hosting of the European Presidency. On that historic occasion, in May 2004, Seamus Heaney read his poem, Beacons at Bealtaine, a piece that spoke of renewal, hope, unity, and rebirth across a newly enlarged Europe. More than 2 decades later, those themes continue to resonate. His words remain as relevant today as they were on that May Day 2004. Reminding us of the enduring values that unite us and the shared future we continue to build together. Beacons at Bealtaine, Phoenix Park, May Day 2004. Uisce, water, and Fionn, the water's clear. But dip and find this Gaelic water Greek. A phoenix flames upon Fionn Uisce here. Strangers were barbaroi to the Greek ear. Now let the heirs of all who could not speak the language, whose babbling was unclear, come with their gift of tongues, past each frontier, and find the answering voices that they seek, as Fionn and Uisce answer Phoenix here. The May Day hills were burning far and near, when our land's first footers beached boats in the creek. In Uisce, Fionn, strange words that soon grew clear. So on a day when newcomers appear, let it be a homecoming, and let us speak the unstrange word as it behoves us here. Move lips, move minds, and make new meaning flare, like ancient beacons signaling peak to peak, from Middle Sea to North Sea, shining clear as phoenix flame upon Fionn Uisce here. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruth, for a very powerful delivery of a very powerful piece. The founding of the European Union began with a dream of sorts, a dream to make Europe a safe and prosperous place where citizens from every corner of our continent could thrive. In 1992, a Limerick band, the Cranberries, released their song, Dreams, which became a global hit and which to this day remains one of Ireland's most enduring anthems. Today, we are delighted to have a special arrangement by Colm Mac Con Iomaire and our host of traditional musicians, agus leis an áran seo a casadíobh, bana tháinig go hÉireann cúig blianas fiche dó hin. It will be sung by a woman who arrived in Ireland 25 years ago, and she has made our country and our music very much her own. To perform Dreams for us, will you please give a huge welcome to the inimitable Tolu Mackey. Thank you, Tolu, and all our artists for that incredible version of a timeless song. Dríochtul, amach is amach. Now, to close proceedings for the day, I would like to welcome the Minister of State for European Affairs and Defence, Thomas Byrne. Chuig Ordon, Leverdell.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I have the honour of drawing today's opening ceremony for the Irish Presidency of the Council of the European Union to a close, but it's now that the hard work begins. I will do so, if our guests don't mind, using our first official language in Ireland, Irish, a full and official language of the European Union. Bhuailm buíochas a gabháil leis na hÉireann galéir, bhí siad go hiontach, a chur go mór leis an shearmanas inniu. Is iontach ar fad an léiriú, ar thug siad ar chultúr na hÉireann, idir cheann agus nua. Buíochas freisin leis na híana galéir, as bheith linn inniu, as an méid atá déanta agah, ar bhaithe lena Uachtaránacht ar an Aontais Eorpaigh a phleanáil, agus a thuairt chun críocha. Bhuailm freisin Aontais a thuairt dus na honnadathe óga atá in ar measc inniu, go raibh míle maithagah a dhaoine óga, ná déananig I dearmad críocha is libhse an Aontais Eorpaigh agus is libhse tochaí an Aontais. I gcaitheamh phréimhse sé bhí mar Uachtaránacht ar an Aontais Eorpaigh. Aibreoimid le díogras agus le dúthracht chun tochaí fiúntach a chintu dus na daoine óga agus do muintir uile na hÉireann agus na Eorpa. Dear guests, the Irish Presidency will be guided by the spirit of Ní Neart Chomhairle Céile, strength in togetherness. We will work with our fellow Member States, with communities across our country and our continent, to deliver for the people of Europe. Today's opening ceremony showcased the richness of the Irish language and our culture to Europe and beyond. But it is, after all, a language and a culture that sits now with ease in Europe and the wider world. And who better than our MC Carrie Crowley to prove that? Thank you, Carrie. So thanks once again to all our participants involved in today's opening ceremony. Go raibh míle maithagah go léir.
Thank you, Minister Byrne. Vita Roll Kamasta, Gurmila. And it's actually time to say a final thank you to all of the different people who came today to perform and to speak and to mark the opening of Ireland's EU presidency on such a special occasion. Before we finish, I would ask everyone to remain in their seats as the speaking party departs. This is important for security reasons, so Leverdal, Fanagi, Maratha, stay as you are for a few moments. I'm just waiting for a hand to wave to say yes. They're all safe. Fanagi no medzela. And they're clear. Tá si de lig imi támid slán sábhat an seo. And the good news is, first of all, thank you all for coming. I'm delighted to welcome you to a reception in honour of the beginning of Ireland's EU presidency. At that no Shinlev, would you like a little bit of a party? Make your way inside to the State Apartments, which is the building directly behind you, and go up the stairs and to your left. Hús saira agus ar chlé, agus fecamid hús an sibh, agus asúlan go bhaine sibh fíor soltas. Thank you.